I love your dress. Oh, she went shopping just for this. Look at gosh, you're so tall. I'm so proud of you. Let's see, our back is to everyone else. We just talk. I cannot believe you found that. Oh, most favorite. Did you have a good day? Yeah. Kind of stinks having it in a recess, but it's nice your teacher let you guys have fun. Are you ready for Thanksgiving? Yeah. Oh, I bet your mom makes good Thanksgiving food. Her sponge cake was so good. I might have eaten like a lot of it. But yeah, I ate one really big slice and then I was like, I'm gonna leave some there. Then I was like, I left some, but now I'm gonna have some more. Did you get to have any, or was it all gone?
It was all gone.
I ate like 2 big slices. So good. Green when it's on. With 2 minutes. 2 minutes, a whole Taylor Swift song. Actually, it's not right. Our nurse is here too. Oh. Her son's getting an award probably. Oh, was that the number 13?
No.
No? Oh, I thought it said 13. Is Kylie at your house?
No, she's in Stillwater.
That's what I thought. Does she have a cat there? That's so cool.
And she brings it home on the weekends.
Oh, it looks so cute.
She's bad.
The cat? Is she a kitten? Young
I don't know.
Sometimes when cats are little, they're a little wild. I have 2 cats. One of them is kind of older. So, my daughter loves her. At daycare, they asked what she's thinking.
Okay, if I could have your attention, we'll get started. To begin with, Allison Burchett with First Presbyterian Church will lead us in our invocation.
If it is your practice or tradition, I invite you to join me in a moment of prayer. Source of all true wisdom, we give you thanks today and every day that we were woken up to learn new things and teach new lessons. We give thanks for children who inspire us with their questions and curiosity. We give thanks for children who inspire us with their untainted senses of justice and fairness. We give thanks for children who invite us to learn and be better ourselves. And we give thanks for the ones you've called to care for and feed and love them. We give thanks tonight for teachers and paras who have heard your call to feed their curiosity. We give thanks for support staff, for secretaries and janitors and lunch ladies, for crossing guards and security guards. We give you thanks for all of those grown-ups who remind our children that they are special and important and loved. And we give you thanks for this board. I ask that you would give each member of this assembly gathered a sense of awe and joy at the work you've called them to. And I pray that the rest of us, community gathered, might find ways to support the essential and holy work of caring for our children. Help all gathered here to ask hard questions, to seek new insights, and discover new answers as they do the work you've called them to tonight and always. Amen. Okay.
Thank you. Call the meeting to order. We will start with roll call. Colonel Little. Matt Lohman. Here. Joe Blackwood. Here. Perfect. Randy Long. Here. Kim Tinius.
Here.
Tori Turnbow.
Here.
Matt Sampson. Here. Chad Mance. Here. Next is 1B, presentations. Miranda Johnson. Oh, presentation of colors, excuse me.
ROTC.
Yes, excuse me. Presentation of colors with the Enid High School Air Force ROTC.
Please stand. Please join me for the American flag. Attention, salute, pledge. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. All.
Now we're ready for presentations.
All right, thank you. All right, we are going to kick off our recognitions this evening with our American Education Week representatives from several of our schools. American Education Week did start this today, and it's just a great way for our students to talk about the great things happening in our schools. So we're going to have Mia kick off from Glenwood Elementary.
Good evening. My name is Mia Sutherland. I am 10 years old and I am a 5th grader in Mrs. Burrell's class at Glenwood. I am involved in the girls basketball team and I'm also in honor choir, but I wasn't sure about honor choir, but Mrs. Honeycutt encouraged me to try it and now I like it. I have attended Glenwood since I was in pre-K. I have had many great teachers over my 7 years at Glenwood, but my favorite teacher of all is Mrs. Ebel. I was lucky enough to have her in 2nd grade and 3rd, and again in 3rd grade. She always made learning fun, and we hatched baby chicks, did book studies, and did fun art projects. What I love most about Glenwood is how nice and helpful all of the teachers are. They all work hard to help their students. I think I can speak for most of the students at Glenwood when I say we have loved earning character counts. That has been a huge favorite for all of the students this year. Another thing that I have loved about Glenwood this year is how nice the playgrounds are looking. Our custodians make our building nice and clean. This year has been my favorite year because Mrs. Owens had made our school awesome. Every morning she greets everyone with a smile. She takes time out of her busy day to interact with the students. My favorite is when Mrs. Owens talks to me about our favorite singer, Taylor Swift. Glenwood has dedicated teachers, and I am glad I have been a part of Glenwood since I was 4 years old. Thank you, Mrs. Owens, for having me represent Glenwood. Go Grizzlies!
Good job, Mia, and thanks for leading us in our pledge, too.
I promise I had nothing to do with the Swiftie comment, but we both are Swifties.
All right, next we're going to invite Annie Heathman up. She has a representative from Emerson Middle School.
Good evening. Alyssa Brooks, 8th grader at Emerson Middle School, will be representing us. She is a member of the leadership group. She's a member of National Junior Honor Society and is also an office aide. She is in band, which she plays the trumpet, and she was in cross country.
Hello, I'm Alyssa Brooks. I'm an 8th grader at Emerson Middle School. I didn't prepare much for today, but this is what I have. I think Emerson is a positive and safe learning environment. The faculty and teachers are doing an excellent job at furthering my education. Emerson has influenced me to be more outgoing and social. It has put me more out in the community, and I feel like I'm doing so amazing. I have made many great memories at Emerson that will follow me throughout my adult life. That is all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison, for coming out.
Okay, next I'm going to invite Mr. Liddell up. We have a couple of Tango Flight students that are going to speak with us.
Good evening, Dr. Darrell, board members, audience. I've got a couple of guys in the back that I need to come down at this time as well, and going to call you guys out, Richard and Brett, and bring your prop with you if you will. If you'll bring that over as well, that would let everyone see what's going on. Guys, I'm going to turn the mic over real fast to two Enid High School juniors, Melissa Bullenbach and Prairie Mason. These girls are involved in our Tango Flight program, and I'm going to let them have the floor. And the entourage that are with us are the mentors that help daily, and they'll talk on them a little bit as well.
Come on, don't be shy. Hi guys, I'm Melissa Bullenbach. I'm a junior at Enid.
I'm Prairie Mason. I'm also a junior at Enid.
And this is
Richard
Brett.
Hollerow.
Richard Hollerow? Brett, there you go. All right. So Tango Flight is a very unique class. We're actually building an airplane from scratch, all by ourselves. About last year, my teacher came up to me, offered it to me. I thought it would be an amazing experience, very unique. I thought it would be a great way to get more into aviation, explore it more. So I joined.
My teacher also came up to me last year with the offer of Tango Flight, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time, so it's been a really good opportunity to have, and I'm really lucky and grateful to have been in the class and have that offer.
Okay, so Tango Flight, a little nervous. I'm trying.
Tango Flight is a really good class to have. I'm sorry, I didn't really prepare for this. But all the people are really good, and it's really, like, seeing it all be made and being able to work on it is really fascinating, and it really helps you learn for the future and, like, to have these skills for further on in life.
It's a great experience. I think it's very unique, something that most kids don't get, first of its kind, I think. It's given us lots of skills, I think, responsibility especially, because somebody's going to be flying this plane, so we have to really make sure we're asking questions, doing the right thing. It's very responsibility. Lots of challenges, like it doesn't always go the right way. We don't always know. Lots of problem solving. It gives us ways to overcome problems, how to think on our feet, you know, come up with solutions and make it work. It's given us lots of opportunities too. I've met a lot of great people through this program, lots of future job experiences, future colleges. I know what college I want to go to because of this class, because I got to tour it and they gave me amazing opportunities. Anything else you want to say? But yeah, Tango Flight, I found a new passion through Tango Flight. I had no clue what I wanted to do before it, but now I know what future I want for myself. So, but I want to thank you guys too for giving us an opportunity to have this kind of class. It's amazing. Also thank our instructors, because they are amazing teachers, even better people, and the class would not be half of what it is without them, and they are really the backbone. So, yeah.
I'll go ahead and invite Miss Erin Caffey up. She is going to introduce our next representative.
Good evening, board members. My name is Erin Caffey. I am a classroom teacher here at Enid Public Schools, specifically teaching the newcomer program that we have here. Our newcomers are students who have been in the United States 3 years or less. And last year we saw our biggest increase of Hispanic population with little to no English language abilities. So tonight I want to introduce Naomi. She came to us last year. She was among just a great population of students, and I want her to speak on her story and her journey to here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Naomi Michelle Salcedo Alcaraz. I am 17 years old and I am grade 11. I study at Newcomer Academy. What I like about the Newcomer Academy is that I get direct attention and I have connection with my teachers. I like that I communicate with them. This is helping me a lot. At Newcomer Academy, I learned the meaning of words that I can use them in my other class and in a high. I have attended Newcomer Academy for 1 year. This time is preparing me to continue my studies at Enid High. I am thankful for the Newcomer Academy. Thank you.
Ms. Heiberg, you need to join her down there. Yes. Ms. Garcia, too. Good job, Naomi. Very good. Good job, Naomi. Thank you for coming out.
You're great. Okay, next up, I would like to invite Coach Jensen up to talk about our softball girls and their awesome accomplishments.
I want to thank everybody for the recognition for these three young ladies. I want to start off with the first on the list. First off, kind of explain what this is. 6A is divided up into 4 different districts. you play games throughout the season, and then there's district standings at the end. The top 2 teams get to host. This year we were it was a 3-way tie for first. We were one of those teams, but kind of slid down to third when the tiebreaker started coming out. But really, these 3 ladies here kind of exemplify what we're all about, the culture that we have, and kind of the uptick of the program right now. First, I have Cassidy Patterson. Just a couple things about Cassidy. She's a sophomore, 2-year starter. In 80 games, her first 2 years, she's only made 6 errors. This year, she only made 2 errors and with a .360 batting average. She was the 6A1 Defensive Player of the Year, voted upon by all the district coaches. It's a great accomplishment for Cassidy. Second, we have 6A1 All-District pitcher, Gracie Combrink. Gracie's a freshman this year. She posted a 16-win and 8-loss record against some of the best teams in the state. She beat some teams that were actually qualified for state and went quite far. So really proud of Gracie, the way she competed throughout the year. She had 208 strikeouts and 137 innings. So you'd look out there sometimes in the outfield and center fielder may be bored because she's not getting any action, but it's because our pitcher's really dominating in the circles. So she was one of 3 pitchers that we used this varsity season, and they all did well, and Gracie did exceptional. The last girl I'd like to introduce is Palmer Pasby. Palmer was our catcher this year and also was able to play third base. Palmer was the player of the year in 6A1 out of all the athletes. It says a lot about Palmer. She batted .426. She threw out 11 runners, which, in 40 games may not seem like a lot, but that's because other teams didn't want to run against her. So that's pretty remarkable when you can shut down somebody else's, run game. Handled Gracie really well behind the plate, and just a leader out there on the field. So all 3 of them, not only do they do really good at softball, but they also play other sports as well. Basketball and track, and we got a golfer back here too. If you need something welded, they can do that. So I'm really proud of these 3. I don't think they want to talk. Do you? Do you guys want to talk? Anybody? Okay. But no, really proud of them. Really proud of the whole team, and really the commitment the district has really pushed into our program the last few years. So thank you.
Congratulations, Coach Jensen and girls, and congratulations on a great season, too.
All right, next up is Coach DeClerc. He's going to introduce our cross-country kids.
Good evening. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to come speak about these 3 truly exceptional Enid High School cross-country student athletes, Cassidy Lebeda, Esmeralda Solis, and Carson Nault. Cross country is a sport that challenges one's self-determination, grit, commitment, resolve every day. These 2 young ladies and gentlemen set out this season with an inspiring goal of qualifying for the state meet, all while upholding high academic standards. On October 26th, they accomplished this remarkable feat by qualifying to represent Enid High School at the state cross-country meet, all while averaging an impressive 4.0 GPA. Their exceptional ability to balance academic and athletic commitments is commendable and shows they truly exemplify what it means to be a plainsman and pacer. I hope that their accomplishments inspire all our student athletes to work relentlessly to achieve their goals. Thank you once again, and go Big Blue.
Feel free to come on down and pick up. You're fine. Come on down. Coach DeClerc, congrats on a great season. Congrats, kids.
This next recognition is for our United Way campaign winners. This year, EPS staff raised $8,445 for United Way of Northwest Oklahoma, so we are very excited about that. Our small school division winners are Hayes Elementary. Large school is Garfield Elementary, and our department division is transportation, so I'm going to invite them up to take a quick picture and get a certificate, but we're really happy we were able to raise that much money for a great cause.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thanks, Ms. Rader, Ms. Jarnigan, Mr. Moulton. Thank you all.
Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to have Jenny Scott. She is with EEA. She's going to introduce our poster contest winners.
Good job, Miranda, too, for filling in with Mrs. Johnson's absence.
Thank you.
You've
I
done
cannot
well.
replace Jane, but I appreciate y'all's patience with me.
Good evening. I'm here to, well, we are here tonight to help kick off American Education Week by announcing our poster winners. This year we had over 200 entries and had an extremely difficult time choosing. We saw artistic talent, humor, some very heartfelt messages. We asked students to think about what they would do if they were principal. The stories were split between students who clearly love school and wouldn't change a thing, and those that want to see a few changes. Some themes that we saw throughout: students want to feel loved and safe. They prefer ice cream, pizza, recess, and phones all day. They want teachers to get paid more. The students want safe and clean buildings. They want spaces to calm down and are anxious about school. We even had some very impressive essays submitted from Monroe. They shared some of the same themes. One said, if I were principal, I would practice every drill once a month so everyone was safe and not hurt by something or someone. The teachers, custodians, and all of the other people that work in schools don't get paid so much, so now they'll get an additional $1,000 a month. Also, I would have changed the amount of teachers, custodians, etc. by hiring 5 more teachers per building. Like that kid. If I were principal, we would have an arts and crafts class so that the students can make different crafts and paintings. The students would paint, and if they like art, they would hang it up in the school and have galleries of their art. So we hope that you enjoy the posters as much as we have. We also hope you can continue to celebrate our schools and staff throughout American Education Week. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is is Family Day. We have a cute little then and now posters, or not posters, but it's just like a little sheet that students can take home and share the students' favorite memories of school next to their parents' favorite memories and see if they can kind of bond over school. Wednesday is one of our biggest days. It's the support professionals. We are hoping that the schools shower all of our support staff with cards, thanks, and goodies, because I know we couldn't run the schools without them. Thursday is Educator for a Day. This has been a little problematic and challenging just because of the security that we've had to implement in schools. But Friday, for Substitute Education Day, we are providing cookies that all active subs can go pick up at the ESS. So hope that encourages even more subs to come. So for now, I would want to go ahead and introduce the winners. We have a kindergarten through 2nd division. First place winner is Adriana Hughes from Eisenhower. And also, I know this was a very quick turnaround, so the families who could make it, thank you so much. Second place is Leland Rain Paul Valenzuela from McKinley. And the third place winner, Abigail Stillwater, also from Eisenhower. For the 3rd through 5th division, we have the first place winner, Kimberly Mendoza from Garfield Elementary. Second place is Angelina Term, also from Garfield Elementary. And third place is Mia Delgadillo from Coolidge. Then we had one that we just adored. For the most creative, we have Sawyer Thornton from Prairie View Elementary. If he were president. Then for middle school, we had so many awesome entries. We created a couple different categories. For the digital art, first place, we have Lillian Brennan from Waller. We had 2 very funny digital winners. One guy wants better toilet paper. Elijah Woodson, also from Waller. And one would rather get rid of Go Guardian. Love this one. Levi Easterly. And for the hand-drawn, we had a heartfelt winner, Lenora Matin from Waller. Andy Hodgson from Waller. And Laura Ermacher from Waller. And then for the high school, we had one winner, Roberto Ramos. So we will provide, oh, sorry, go ahead. We've made 2 copies so the board can have one to display here. And then the students can bring theirs to their schools with them. All right, thank you so much for everyone who participated. That was really fun to judge, so thank you.
Parents, come on down if you want to take a picture. Feel free to. And thank you for bringing the kids out tonight.
Everyone get a picture real quick, squish together. And do we want EA in the picture? Or yeah, let's get it. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. I'll get blue. All right, everybody, can we squish together? Yep. Good job. Here. All right. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Miss Kathy. All right, thanks, guys. Congratulations. Is everybody good? Okay.
Thanks again, everyone, for coming out and celebrating with the kids. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, that takes us to item number 2, audience to visitors. There is none this evening, so we'll move to item 3, superintendent's report. Dr. Darrow.
Okay, thank you, President Mance. First up is going to be academic report. That's part of our strategic plan. Everyone should have some papers in front of them. I'm going to start with Mr. Rader. He's going to start with the elementary portion, and then once he's done, then Dr. Rhodes will go over secondary portion. Mr. Rader.
Good evening, board. So if you'll look at the page that says OSTP yearly comparison with state, should be the top one. It's got the blue lines at the top. This is just a direct comparison with the state. If you'll look at third grade, starting in 2022, EPS compared to the state, 26 to 29. If you'll look all the way over to 24, EPS is at 40%, state's at 52%. Math, you can see those lines as well. We go from 28 compared to 34, 28 to 34, and then 30 to 39. If you'll look down to fourth grade, with our ELA, we're at 25, where the state's at 24. If you'll look at EPS, in 23, we were at 24, the state was at 25, and then EPS in 2024 last year, we were at 38, and the state was at 48%. Math was at 33 and 33, and in 23, we were at 31 and 35, and then EPS in 2024 was at 32, and the state was at 40. Fifth grade ELA, 27 compared to 29 for the state, 25 compared to 28 for EPS in 23, and then in 24 we're at 44 and 46. Math, a little bit ahead of the state in fifth grade there in 22, we're at 28 and 26, and then again a little bit behind the state, 26 and 29, and then 36 and 38. And then, of course, in science, we only have the 1 year to report, or we have multiple years to report, but fifth grade is the only year that they take the science test, or the first year they take the science test. So we're at 36% in 22 compared to the state at 38. EPS is 32 and 36 in 23, and then in 24, we're slightly ahead of the state. So obviously, I'm one of those guys, I want to be ahead of the state. I want to be ahead of everybody all the time. Enid's its own unique community. I'm not going to make excuses for anything. When you look at percentages, when you look at the different things that we deal with on a daily basis, we're very close. It's hard to compare Enid sometimes to some of the bigger schools. It's hard to compare sometimes to the smaller schools, because I think we all know we have a very unique and diverse community, which I think we all love. But it does bring about some challenges. I want to talk about some of our strengths. And so we're in our third year with Wit and Wisdom, which is it's a reading curriculum really based on the science of reading, and we've talked a lot about that. And one of the things that we've done is the curriculum department has worked very hard at aligning that curriculum to our curriculum maps. We provide a lot of resources for our teachers. We've created questions sets with formative assessments that are easy for teachers to access. They can go into Mastery Connect. They can give those formative assessments, and they know that those assessments are going to have a lot of rigor, and they know that they're going to be tied right to our curriculum. The other thing that we really like about Wit and Wisdom is, in elementary school, a lot of times it's hard to stop. You don't just stop teaching reading so you can teach science, or stop teaching reading so you can teach social studies. We really try to integrate that into our lessons, and Wit and Wisdom does a really good job of integrating both science and social studies into the curriculum, so kids are getting that. And then another thing we've done this year, the curriculum department has kind of taken over the science budget. Sam has given the elementary a science budget, and so Kristen and Kevin have worked very hard at creating at least one hands-on science experiment for every teacher each quarter, and they're high. I mean, it's from dissecting. I forgot what we dissected, eels or something like that at Hoover. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they do, and teachers can request more, but we have at least a minimum of one for each quarter that teachers can do, and we feel like that's really making a difference and moving the mark with our science. Areas of improvement, we have a new adoption, which is big ideas in math, and this year it's not really aligned to our curriculum maps a whole lot. Teachers really need time to kind of learn the curriculum and stuff, so to put them on a strict pacing guide and all of that is kind of unfair to them. So as they get to know the curriculum this year, we'll meet with them in the spring, and we'll begin to tie those to the curriculum maps like we do with the reading and the pacing guides and everything like that. So luckily Kristen and Kevin do an excellent job in that area. Principals are really working on teacher clarity with their teachers. making sure that kids know exactly what they're doing in the class during the lesson. And we've implemented walkthroughs. I say we've implemented. Principals have always done walkthroughs, but we've implemented a more focused walkthrough where they're looking for specific things, and we're kind of tracking that so we can track some trends and see what and where we need to support our teachers more. And then the last thing there is Scarborough's rope, and you guys have heard a lot about the science of reading, and you know, we've done a really good job of training our teachers in the science of reading, but we've been very focused intentionally on the phonological awareness, the decoding, and the sight recognition, but that's only a small part of the science of reading. And so I did add on the page behind that, if you open it up, you should see something that looks like this, which is Scarborough's rope. I didn't want you guys thinking I just made that up, so I gave you a picture of it. First of all, I'm not smart enough to make up something like this. But if you look at the bottom, that's the part down below, the word recognition, that's the phonological awareness, that stuff. That's what our Heggerty and our foundation hits, and those are our decoding skills. But the part that Wit and Wisdom, our new curriculum, hits is really the language comprehension. And that's the area that we know it's not as easy to teach. Foundations and Heggerty are pretty scripted, but Wit and Wisdom is that curriculum that's helping us hit those areas. And so now if you'll flip to the other side, I actually have some proof that while our state scores may not be exactly where we want them to be, the page that has the green highlights here, this is a comparison of cohorts, and this is only looking at the sub-skills that is reported out on the state testing. So if you'll look, there's an overall ELA, and then down below there's reading, writing process, critical reading and writing, there's vocabulary, there's language, and there's research. And those are the areas that directly correspond to the top part of that rope, which deals with the language comprehension part. And if you see in 2023, the third graders that tested in 2023, when you look at how they did last year in 2024, there's a lot of green going down there. And just to orient you a little bit, if you look at the reading, writing process, Approaching is the lowest area that you can score. They score the subcategories a little bit different, but if you'll notice, we went from those third graders scoring 60. We had 66% of our kids in the approaching to 49, which looks that's still more than we want. But if you'll look at near mastery and if you'll look at achieving, we went from 10% to 24%. And I'm not going to go over all of those numbers. You all can read those graphs. But we did that in every single area. Reading, writing process, if you'll look, the near mastery, I didn't highlight two areas on the second one of each in fourth grade and in fifth grade. But even though those numbers are a little bit higher, that column is a little bit tricky because as long as we have more kids in achieving, we've moved those kids from the lower levels. And I think this is a direct correlation to what we're doing with Wit and Wisdom and how our teachers are embracing that and how it's really starting to move the needle on how our kids are doing with the curriculum that we have. So, and then the last little piece, if you'll flip over Scarborough's rope, I think the tricky part, and this is the way reading works, and this is more a little science of reading, but good reading requires accurate word reading, fluency, and comprehension. And there's two domains that make that up, decoding and language comprehension. And you'll notice that that's not an addition problem, it's a multiplication problem. Because any number multiplied by 0 gives you 0, right? So if you don't have decoding or if you don't have language comprehension, then you're not going to have overall reading comprehension. And so that's why we have to work and focus so hard on those skills that'll give us both the decoding and the language comprehension. And I think we've started to do that, and I look forward to seeing what our math curriculum is going to do over the next several years. Any questions? All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, Mr. Rader.
Yep.
Dr. Rhodes.
So I did not color coordinate yours, sorry. I did color coordinate mine to talk to you about. But I will just say, looking over our test data, it's not exactly where we would like to be, but we are going to compare ourselves to the state through a lot of this. I will say that we did, off of what Mr. Rader said about our ELA, we did adopt new curriculum, and I do see that it is we're making some great gains in that. Prior to, they were just kind of teaching out of novels. And so it's been a long adjustment, but one that is very well needed, and you can see that we have increased over the last several years in our ELA scores. And I think that's because teachers actually have curriculum that they can follow, and it's being implemented with fidelity. And so I'm very pleased with how they are making some great progress there. As far as our math scores go, when you look at 7th grade math, they're above the state average. We're not quite there with 6th grade or 8th grade, but I think part of our 8th grade is we offer pre-al and Algebra 1, but the kids are still having to take that 8th grade test. And so with this year, with our 8th graders, we started using more with Comingo, so that way they can still work at that algebra pace and then work on those 8th grade skill sets, because that's what they're being assessed over. Again, we just adopted math curriculum. We'll be bringing more PD in so that our math teachers are starting to use it. We'll be using it with more fidelity. I don't know that we're there, but we're going to get there. So again, I appreciate you all supporting us in purchasing the curriculum that they need to be implementing in the classroom. When you look at our 11th grade, they're tested in ACT, and they take all of the components of the ACT, but the ACT then, they also have to take the CCRA, which is the Science and U.S. History. So we take the ACT on one day, and then we come back, and in the past we would take like U.S. History in the morning and Science in the afternoon for our juniors, and that, our test scores were not well. I mean, you can look at it and see that for yourself. So last year, we split it up a little bit differently, and this year we're going to do it on different days. So we'll take the ACT one week, and then we'll come back the following week and take a morning U.S. history test, wait a day, come back and do a morning science test. So then that way, hopefully we can get our scores higher, because our kids are doing well. We did increase by 11% in our science test over the last few years. And then our U.S. history test, we were above state average until this year. And again, it's a junior test, so it's not a cohort that you can see and have actual gains to see that. So you're just grading it from one junior class to the next. And then when you get down and look at our ACT scores, so I have ACT juniors, and then I have ACT holistic view. So the ACT juniors score, you will see that that is all of our juniors given that state assessment. The holistic one is sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So I don't know what happened with the 16.4 in that first year. I'm not sure on the 22 one, but it's on there. But you can see from the other, we are still not right where we need to be. And so today, actually, I had Tabitha in with ACT, and she's coming back in a couple of weeks to sit down and go over all of our test data with our counselors. And we're bringing in more PD for our teachers to really look in and break down the ACT per subject area, so we can provide the right supports for our teachers that will also bleed over then to help our students. So I will tell you that last Thursday we tested 2,200 kids at the high school. We bussed the 8th graders up and gave a pre-ACT the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then we did a mock ACT with our juniors, which Tabitha said for all schools, honestly, testing our 8th graders early gets them better prepared. So what we'll be doing in the next few weeks is also bringing in all of our middle school counselors that will break down that 8th grade pre-ACT, and then how do we start talking to our kids and our teachers about what do we need to start doing differently and improve on, so that way our kids will be better prepared when they go in and take that ACT test. And again, it's very valuable, even though I don't like one test on one day. What the ACT can provide us that I don't know that we've done a great job in the past, and I own that, is that we haven't really broke down that data with our kids, our students, or our parents, because it does give us pathways that we can help guide kids into the great pathway that they need to be successful, where their strengths are. And so that is going to be our focus, obviously, the rest of this year and next year moving forward. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Dr. Rhodes. Thank you, Mr. Rader. And I'm just so proud of the work that we've done increasing our test scores. Like both of them just said, we're not where we want to be yet, but we are moving the needle and we are pressing forward. And again, I just commend you both for leading that charge, and let's keep pushing forward. Okay, that takes me to item B. On the superintendent's report, just want to let you guys continue to be aware that our current enrollment is roughly around 7,400 students, which is down from last year. Last year at this point in time, we were about 7,600 students. So we are down. I think I reported that to you guys last month as well. Dr. Robinson is going to touch on this just a little bit later during his financial report. I don't think this is going to impact us for this year with our midterm numbers. But at some point in time, our funding will go down with less students. That's the way the formula works. But I do want to also say that, President Trump coming in and he says, drill, baby, drill. We may have a lot of kids moving in with the oil and gas economy. Who knows? So something that we're going to definitely monitor. I wouldn't be surprised if this number ticks back up in the next 6 to 12 months. So I'll keep you posted. Moving on to item C, I need your approval. It is this time of year again where we adopt the school calendar. Mr. Rader is taking the lead on this calendar adoption portion. This calendar, 25-26 calendar definitely corroborates with Autry, NOC, and I believe EA is also agreed on it as well. Mr. Rader, would you like to add anything else?
Not unless you all have any questions. One of the main things we did, we moved back our second set of parent-teacher conferences deeper into the semester to kind of give more input about that. Also aligns nicely with spring break there, so I think it's set up pretty nicely. The only other thing we really did is, if you'll look at the very beginning, we haven't designated specific days like we have in the past for site PD or district PD or anything like that. We really want our principals to work with their teachers and decide kind of how they need to spend those days. As long as they give them the number of hours they need for their work days and then meet the requirements for PD, then they can kind of arrange that how they need to. Now, in the future, if we get in a situation where we need to do some district-wide PD for one reason or another, we can always add those back. But I think anytime we can give the sites that flexibility, I think that's a good thing. So, any questions?
Any questions? If not, I'll seek your approval.
Okay, do you have a motion? Tori with the motion. Joe with the second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes.
Okay, everybody can start booking their cruises then on that spring break, 26. Okay, moving on. Item D is another action item, and I want to I've got this paper here at your area. This is in regards to House Bill 3958, which we approved these platforms of communications back in July. We now need to add 2 more programs. Progress Learning is one that Emerson's wanting to use for English remediation, and Team Builder, and that is spelled B-U-L-D-R. I did not misspell it, but it's spelled that way. It's something that our strength and conditioning coaches are using at the high school. So this will just be an addition, and I seek your approval to keep us compliant.
I have a motion from Joe.
Second.
Second from Matt Lohman. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes.
Thank you all for that. We will get those changes, let them have access to that program, those programs quickly. That takes me to item E, strategic planning update. Okay, there's going to be a short quiz later about this booklet here. This is our handout that we're working through with the strategic plan, and it is. I think Mr. Mills said it the best. He's never seen a document with more data in it before. But they've just done an outstanding job of collecting all the data from previous years, so many different areas, from our TLE reports to our attendance to our discipline to how we performed on test scores, which we just went over. There's a lot of information there, and we have covered a lot of ground lately. The committee met last week for 2 full days, and Tori, please feel free to chime in at any point in time. But it was intense at times, I will tell you. It was uncomfortable at times. It was some difficult conversations. They dissected our mission statement, which I put here on this first one, and we all kind of, it was uncomfortable there for a little bit. But again, this is what we pay them to do, and they are digging through our data. Ms. Painter's in the crowd. She was there both days as well. This is how we grow, and they've done a great job of breaking all this down. We have 4 areas of focus that came out of phase 2, which we're going to now start working on phase 3, and that's infrastructure, community and culture, third one is personnel, and the fourth one is student achievement. So those are going to be our 4 targeted areas that we're going to work towards. When we come back in January, we're going to start setting goals and timelines for those specific 4 areas. Again, we're digging in, and I was a little lost after the first day, but the second day it started to come together. Tori, you want to chime in any, please?
I'd agree with everything you said. It was very interesting when we first opened these books, because as board members, as you'll look at them, you just kind of go, wait, what? And then to watch not only our staff, but our community members, and especially the students, dig through and start connecting all the different pieces. And then it was just it's a neat process that's happening. I'm just excited to be a part of it. Our district's in a good place, but we've got better places to go.
That's a great point, Tori. And I put this in your packet as well. This has got all the 30 members of the community that make up the committee, the 30 committee members, excuse me. And that's a great point. Mr. Liddell picked out 5 excellent students from Enid High School that represented Enid High School very well. It was they dug in and really appreciated being part of this process. Any other points we want to add, guys? Okay. Well, I will keep you posted. And again, we start back January 6th with our administrators. That'll be our next meeting. Joe, we'll still got you a spot. I know you had to miss last week, but we'll still got you a spot on the committee. Perfect. Okay, that takes me to item F. Just want to update the board on cell phone committee. This is something that has really been pushed out a lot within public education in Oklahoma. Governor Stitt has actually issued a challenge, and Governor Stitt and Secretary of Education Saunders actually have a town hall meeting. I think Dr. Rhodes is going to attend this coming Friday, and this is all about just cell phone awareness in the classroom. I do appreciate Governor Stitt's point of there's not a one-size-fits-all, and there's not an easy solution to kids having cell phones. We're all kind of going through this for the first time. We are embracing this, and we're going to be working with this committee. I've sent out an email. You guys have got a copy of that, what I sent to the staff. I've had several people reach back to me and want to be a part of this committee. Even all the way down to the elementary ages, elementary principals and teachers, all the way up to high school. The cell phones are a distraction in the classroom, and there's not an easy solution. But what I'd like to do is, you've got the dates there in front of you. I'd like to start having the conversation in December and in January, and then once we come back to February, March, and April, and May, we can hopefully get something to seek your approval in June. It's something that we could actually implement into our handbooks. Again, I just want to have a conversation with our staff members and our kids too, and see where this goes. But I'll be happy to answer any questions, and as always, those are the dates. If you'd like to attend, you're more than welcome to, and I'd love to have you. Okay, any questions? If not, I'll move on. Go to item G, which again, I've got some more handout information there in the packet area, and So a little bit has happened with Eisenhower since the last time that we met. If you look at this page from the Department of Defense, this was actually received on the 24th. It's on the back side. There you go. On the 24th of October. And basically, we've got some very encouraging words there towards the bottom about the expected growth of Vance Air Force Base, which is obviously great for Vance, it's great for Enid, it's great for the school. And basically, they're signing off there on the middle paragraph of 1.2 on the design portion. So our application has been submitted in the portal. I'm patiently waiting. If you'll flip over to the other side, I've highlighted it for you. I asked Jay, I said, anything going on? And Jay said, your application is currently under review and I anticipate approval in December. I wanted to say I want it in November, but hey, we're still pushing forward. Want to get this thing done, but it is going to get done, and we're still, I think this is positive news. It's just not as happening as fast as I'd like. Dr. Robinson and I also got a email today from Jay, so it's good. I just don't have, hopefully we come back in December with an action item to where we can move forward on this. Any questions on Eisenhower? All right. The last thing for me to discuss on the superintendent's report is item H, and Dr. Robinson, please chime in with this. This is, you've got the bid sheet here. This is from Henson last week, where we've got some bids for lighting at Failing Field. And as you guys know, we have a great working relationship with NOC, a partnership. This is to potentially put up lights there at NOC's Failing Field. This would allow us so much more flexibility and scheduling ability for junior high baseball, JV baseball, and varsity baseball. The bids, I'll let Dr. Robinson chime in a little bit about that, but very, very competitive and actually came in lower than what we thought. And again, this is just a discussion item, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. But Dr. Robinson?
So really the kind of the point of bringing this to your attention is we'd like to bring this back in December for a contract approval. And if there's any discussion or anything like that, kind of take those questions now. The reason this hadn't been brought to you right now is you can kind of see the difference in the numbers that are there. So we have to do some homework. When I say we, that's Henson and I, to make sure that the bid that we're going to accept can take care of the lighting package to go at Failing Field. The one question might be asked is why would we put lights up at Failing Field at NOC? And I think it's important to remember we had our 3 softball girls here tonight. Softball actually can play, they do play at Pacer Field, they can play at David Allen, and they can play at any of the city parks, especially the 3 over there by Kellett that are lit up. There's only one baseball field that our high school kids can play at, and that's at David Allen. And so by putting lights up at Failing Field, it actually opens up opportunities for our baseball teams to have another field to play at that's not afforded to them at this point in time. And that's part of our agreement with NOC is that our baseball team gets the opportunity to play there with or without lights. But the way our schedules are set up, it's important to have lights, especially when you start baseball season in February and March. You need those lights to play a 6 o'clock ball game at our fields. So this
to Dr. Robinson's
just process.
Point, sorry to interrupt.
That's all right.
Sam. To Dr. Robinson's point, these numbers are significantly less than trying to build a new baseball field.
Yeah. If we were to go out and acquire the property to build a new baseball field, you're probably looking at $1.5 million. And that's not for a David Allen. That's to acquire the property, lay a field out, put some chain link up, and put a few bleachers out there, and to put lights on it. So this right here to put lights on Failing Field, to make some future investments at Failing Field, are going to be significantly less than what we would spend to build our own baseball field in this community.
I have a question for you. Remind me on our joint usage agreement with NOC. Once we do this, is our maintenance going to be split? Is it us? We're going to be maintaining lights?
So once we purchase something for Failing Field, NOC is now the maintainer of it.
Okay.
And so again, these lights, they're going to come with a 10-year warranty, something along those lines. But we don't own NOCs. We don't own Failing Field. So therefore, the maintenance of that will fall on NOC, not on us.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we don't pay the electricity bill out there.
We do not pay the electricity bill. That's a good point. Don't talk that too loud, because NOC might get wind of it.
But it is pertinent. It is. It's important information.
So,
what is this based for Apex? The base bid 961.53. I'm not
so that's an error. It's actually 121,961.
Okay.
Yep. We are obligated to not only to look at the low bid and possibly take the low bid, but they also have to be a quality bidder. And that means that the light package they specified meets the spec that they submitted, meets the specs that we put out there in the bid process. And that's what we have to go through, because it's not apples to apples when you're talking about lighting packages. As you guys know, when you go buy light bulbs at Lowe's, there's 20 varieties. Same thing happens with light poles, and we're not allowed to specify just one type of light fixture. And so when they submit bids, as long as they're meeting the candle foot, the pole height, all those kind of things that are required, it can be a different company. And we want to make sure that company has the same quality as what we have at our other facilities before we do this.
Okay, again, that's just discussion. Hopefully we'll bring something back in December for an action item. And that concludes Superintendent's report.
So what was that? So David Allen was originally Musco, and then when we took the tops off, that was Techline. And Techline is actually at David Allen, at the track, and at softball right now. And we have Musco lights at Selby currently.
Did we do some at Kellett?
We did not do Kellett. The city took care of Kellett, and I believe those are. I know part of them are Musco. I cannot remember what the first set. Who did that one? Yeah. Oh, like who the Instar was. Third Generation Electric has done all of our work for us. Yep. TGE, yes. Sorry, I wasn't more specific.
Okay, that takes us to item 4, regular business. 4A, discussing possible action to approve the following consent agenda items. That'd be A1 through A7. Do I have a motion? I have Matt Lohman with a motion, Joe Blackwood the second. Is there any discussion? No discussion. We will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Tim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Okay. Takes us to 4B, discussion as possible action to approve the district's financial report for October 2024. Dr. Robinson.
All right, I'm just going to go real quick on financial report. We have, like I said before, a lot of money coming in, a lot of money going out this time of year, but things are really good. There's no changes. Really, the big topic is the next item on for discussion. And so unless you have any specific financial questions regarding our normal finance report, there's nothing overly positive. There's definitely nothing negative to talk about.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move.
We have Randy with a
Second.
motion, Kim with a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Okay. Then discussion and possible action to approve the district financial year 2025 budget. Dr. Robinson.
All right, so this is the actual kind of formal budget process. We do the estimate of needs, of course, in September that's provided to us by Pat Carroll. This is the budget that I put together, kind of looking at where we really are on expenditures and where we're projecting to go on those expenditures, including revenues. And so you guys were emailed about a 140-plus page document. If you read it page for page, great job. If not, I'm going to give you a very short version of this finance report. Yeah, so here we go. So 152. Who's counting? Try. So, yeah, sorry I missed that one by about 12. So, as Dr. Darrow was referring to earlier with our decrease in student enrollment, we have a decrease in state aid of about $382,000 this year over last year's state aid. I am not projecting an increase in state aid because of that decrease in enrollment at midterm. So that's kind of that flat budget item there. In years past, we've had a little bit of growth, a little bit of changes, so there's been some increase. I could be completely wrong in that area because we don't really know what our so-called piece of the pie is until all schools report their data. And so schools reported their data, but they haven't released all of that to us to look at, so we just have to go on what information is available to us. Comparing revenue from last year to this year, we are going to be projected to be down by $4.2 million. That's nobody's fault. That's just the loss of ESSER 3 funding. We all knew that was coming. We've been talking about it for over 3 years now. It's finally here. When you look at expenditures, we have decreased expenditures over last year of just over $1 million. That decrease could continue to go down, but I always hedge against, we have a lot of projects we need to finish. We did a lot of great things with our ESSER funding. We had a few things that have been left hanging out there. We have a pretty solid fund balance, and so why not take care of those items? A lot of those things I showed you guys last month when we kind of went through facilities, and I always hedge for a worst case. What happens if we lose some major air conditioning units, a major component in a building? We need to make sure that I account for that in the budget somewhere. And so that's why when you go, well, Sam, you lost $4 million, why didn't you cut the budget by $4 million? There's things that still have to get done. There's things we have to do. And like I said, we've added to the fund balance significantly over the past few years. So we're able to take care of those things. At the end of the day, projecting the fund balance to decrease by about $2.9 million. A lot of people might get scared of that number. It doesn't scare me a single bit. And I'm going to tell you why, is because last year I projected we were going to be down $300,000, and we came up with a $3 million increase in the fund balance. So this is Sam being conservative. I don't want to overpromise. What I do want to do is I want to underpromise you guys and overdeliver at the end of the year. And so this taken into account will really guide our spending for this school year. And so if I come out and I say, hey, we're only going to be $1 million down, then that's going to maybe open the doors up for some expenditures that we don't need to make. So by projecting a number that I believe we're on track to hit, can easily be redirected. But as my predecessor always told me, the budget is one giant freight train that you cannot stop on a dime. And so this is truly the slowing down of the momentum of spending that I hope I come back to you guys in next June and tell you guys we didn't go in the whole 2.9, we went in a different number, or we might come out to the positive. It's really hard to say, and then you guys might look at me and go, what are we paying you for if you can only hit it within $3 million? Well, I just better be safe than sorry is the message I want to send to you guys. So there it is. That's that 152-page document in a very small nutshell. If there's any questions on any of that, I'll definitely take them at this time.
I move we approve.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion by Tori, a second by Joe. Is there any discussion? If there's none, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Takes us to item 5, new business. Dr. Darrow, do we have any new business?
We do not.
Okay. Then we'll move to 6, reports, items of information, board comments, or questions. Colonel Little.
Good evening, everyone. I've said this before. My favorite part of doing these are all the student presentations. I mean, it just brings a smile to my face and warmth to my heart. Really, really cool to see the students doing so well. And then, of course, the passion and compassion of the educators to bring their best to their students, right? Yeah, like I said, it's a good thing to see for sure. And I also just want to give a huge thank you to Nicole for setting up. We met over, myself and my commanders and my senior enlisted leaders within the group. I do an annual strategic offsite, right? We never have this much that comes out of it, so I am impressed. But then again, my group is nowhere near the size of the school district. But nevertheless, but this year we decided to do it in 2 parts. So the first part was I wanted my commanders to see some of the helping agencies and some of the community engagement that I get to see at my level. And so our first stop was first Woodring Airport. We had to have breakfast. Food is important. And we were very, very familiar, of course, with Woodring because that was a no-brainer. But the second thing is people don't get to see what I see as far as the school board is concerned. And so we met with Dr. Darrell, Dr. Rhodes, Mr. Lindell over at Enid over at Enid High School, and just had a little mini tour. Great presentation on what the school board and the high school are doing. So some of my commanders have children and some of them don't, but all of them have people within their squadrons who have kids who are probably attending the school or who will attend the school. And so I just wanted them to just have that pairing and that meeting up and to see what that engagement looked like. Mission Support Group commanders pretty much across the Air Force are honorary school board members. And so of my pot of 4 commanders, as 4 squadron commanders, one day they, may sit in this seat as well. So I just kind of wanted to do that and just let them know, again, the good things that the Enid Public Schools are doing and how we partner together. And so thank you, Nicole, for setting that up. You and along with Ashley, our PA rep. And then again, thank you so much, Dr. Dudley, Dr. Rhodes, and Ms. Linda, who's already left, for hosting us that afternoon. And so it started out just a presentation, and it ended up a tour. Okay, one room, and then we ended up stopping at several rooms. So I had to tell Courtney, okay, I'm at the school. It's their fault. It's their fault, because we went to YWMCA and over to Loaves and Fishes after that. But it was just a very good morning. One of my commanders, as we got back to the base, he goes, ma'am, I have to say, I wasn't sure how this was all going to play out. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, right? And everyone wants to be at work and, I'm behind. And so you have to force people sometimes to get out of that mode and to get out from behind their desk and to see what else is out there and what's on the other side of the fence and the other side of the wall. So he said, that was really, really good. I learned a lot and thank you, etc. And I'm saying, I'm older than you, but I have a little bit of value left, right? Just a little bit. But nevertheless, so thank you for all of that. So I just wanted to just say that. Thanks.
We'll blame it on Liddell that it took so long. He got a little long-winded. No, it was a great tour.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Very proud.
Thank you, Colonel Little. Does any board member have any comments or questions? Okay, the next regular meeting is December 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the Administrative Service Center boardroom, this room right here. Item 8, discussion and possible action to approve the proposed executive session.
Mr. President, I see no reason to go to executive session at this time, and I recommend we bypass it and move straight to item 10.
Okay, sounds great. So we'll go to 10, discussion and possible action to approve those individuals and or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A.
Move we approve.
Tori with the motion. Matt Lohman with a second. Is there any discussion about that? Seeing none, we will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Item 11, discussion and possible action to approve adjunct instructor status as allowed by the Oklahoma State Department of Education for individuals listed on Exhibit B. Have a motion.
I have a motion to move.
Kim Tinius with the motion. Second.
Second.
Randy Long with the second. Is there any discussion? We will vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. All right. That takes us to 7, notification of resignations, retirements and/or resignations as approved by the superintendent and listed on the attached Exhibit A. No. 12, excuse me. What did I say, 7?
Okay.
Thank you. A little rusty on my Roman numerals. But I do know what that next one is. And that's 13, and that's we're adjourned. Thank you.
Good Thanksgiving, everybody.